Welcome to Wicked Darkness, Johnny's survival guide to the end times. This is a full audio reading of the book released in episodes. I made this free so it's easy to follow and so you don't get distracted from the message. Enjoy.
Wicked Darkness, Johnny's survival guide to the end times. Chapter 19 Part 2. The Jews killed him, but he gave himself. And both are true. If you can handle it. I already know what some of you are thinking. Wait a minute, Johnny. Didn't Jesus say, nobody could take his life from him? Yeah, he said that. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. John 10:18. But he also said, he would be delivered up. And guess what? Peter didn't flinch when he accused the Jews directly. Ye have taken, and by wicked hands, have crucified and slain. Acts 2:23. So let's stop playing dumb. Both are true. This is where spiritual infants, professors, critics, and theologians start choking on the meat, because they don't understand layers. God's word doesn't contradict, but it does peel back in layers, like the veil in the temple, being ripped in two, like Cain and Abel, like Jesus between two criminals, like prophecy unfolding right in front of them, while they stare into the sky for answers. Meanwhile, the esoteric cults, the Masonic dupes, and the secret society illuminated frauds are obsessed with contradictions. They call it duality, order out of chaos, light and dark, black and white, up and down. You've heard them. They worship the beast, because confusion and self-exaltation is all they know. They serve the God of this world, who thrives on contradiction and deception. But the real God, the living God, he plays by a different rulebook. His ways are layered, but true. His path is hidden, but revealed to those who seek. His word is sealed to the arrogant, and unveiled to the humble. He is sovereign. He doesn't need us. We need him. Satan imitates. God reveals. So let me lay it out plain. Yes, the Jews killed Jesus. That wasn't optional. The Passover lamb had to be slain by Israel, or the sacrifice wouldn't be accepted. Yes, the Roman Empire killed Jesus. They fulfilled the 69th week of Daniel. They provided the tree. They lifted him up. They branded him King of the Jews, and still nailed him to it. Rome represents the world's rejection of God in flesh. Yes, Jesus gave himself willingly. He wasn't dragged to the cross, kicking and screaming. He chose it, to fulfill prophecy, and obey the Father. All are true. All are necessary, not contradiction. Layers. We can see God's perfection in action. Rome wasn't just the Iron Empire. It was the fourth kingdom. In Daniel's prophecy, the Gentile world lifted him up, mocked him, and pierced him, just like Psalm 22 said they would. Jesus didn't just show up at some random point in history. He arrived at the exact moment foretold by the prophets, when both Israel and Rome were in place, to fulfill every word. That's not coincidence. That's sovereignty. That's what spiritual children and deceivers miss. They want simple answers, so they can accuse. But God's truth, it forces you to seek, to knock, to swallow the whole pill, not just the part that feels good. Jesus had to die. Israel had to reject him. Rome had to crucify him. And Jesus chose to be rejected, so he could redeem, not just them, but you and me. We could be grafted into the tree of life. And the world hates that truth, because they don't want to see themselves in Cain's face. But they are Cain. You are Cain. I was Cain. Rejecting God's offering, and crafting your own religion, until confronted by the blood, crying out from the ground. That's why they rage. That's why they crucified him. And that's why they still stumble over him today. But here's the kicker. Next time he comes, there won't be layers. There won't be contradictions. There won't be debates. Next time, it's king only. It's judge only. And his enemies, they'll understand very quickly, too late, that the lamb and the lion are the same person. And they rejected him both times. Cain's rebellion, and Israel's echo. Let's make something clear here. Cain didn't just grab the wrong thing for his offering, like he misread the ingredients list. This wasn't a recipe error. It was rebellion. Cain didn't want to approach God on God's terms. And today, look around. It's the same nonsense. There are many roads that lead to God. You must find your own path to enlightenment. Follow your heart. Find the God within you. Meanwhile, Jesus didn't mince words. Just before warning about false prophets, he said, "Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way, that leadeth to destruction, and many there be, which go in thereat, because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it." Matthew 7:13-14. Cain wanted to offer what he thought was good enough, what came from his labor, what came from his pride, what came from his self-made version of worship. But God wasn't impressed. And it wasn't just because there wasn't blood. It was because Cain didn't offer in faith. Hebrews spells it out like a dagger. By faith Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice. Hebrews 11:4. Abel came by faith. Cain came by ego. Abel obeyed. Cain improvised. Abel trusted. Cain rebelled. And Israel. Same story. Same rebellion. They didn't reject Jesus because he wasn't Jewish, or because he didn't fulfill prophecy, or because he didn't perform miracles. They rejected him because he wasn't their version of their Messiah. He didn't fit their expectations. He didn't bow to their system. He didn't show up to play politics or empower their religious elite. So, like Cain, they killed him. They spilled innocent blood because they couldn't stand that God accepted him and rejected them. And Jesus, he already called it. Go read the parable about the king sending his son. In the parable, they said, "This is the heir. Let us kill him and seize his inheritance." Jesus wasn't vague. He was telling them what they were about to do. You can look it up yourself. It's not hidden. It's right there, plain as day. Rejecting the king again. But this story of rejection didn't start at the cross. It started long before, all the way back in the desert. After Israel's miraculous escape from Egypt, they wandered for 40 years. But during that time, they had no earthly king. God was their king. Moses, Aaron, and Joshua were his spokesmen, his priests. The system was clear, but Israel wanted more. They wanted to be like the other nations, to have a physical king, someone they could see and follow. Because let's be honest, relating to a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night wasn't easy. Miracles lose their shine when you're hungry and entitled. At least that's what they thought. So they approached Samuel, demanding a ruler. And God's response: "It should make you stop in your tracks. Hearken unto the voice of the people, in all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them." 1 Samuel 8:7. Did you catch that? They didn't just reject Samuel's leadership. They rejected God himself. History repeats itself. So when modern Jews deny Jesus as their Messiah, remind them, this isn't the first time. They've rejected the King of the Jews. They've made an art form out of following the world, instead of following God. They rejected him before, as a pillar of fire and a cloud of smoke. Go ahead and deny it. I didn't say it. God did. Why wouldn't they reject him again? As a man. And it's not my God they're rejecting. It's their God. I'm Scotch-Irish, probably descended from Conan the Barbarian. My ancestors were full-blown pagans, ruled by the sword. And ironically, those are the very nations Israel wanted to imitate. God's warning to Israel. God didn't just allow Israel to have a king. He warned them about what it would mean. Samuel laid it out plainly, and what he described, it reads like a prophecy fulfilled. This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons to serve in his army. He will take your daughters as bakers, cooks, and servants. He will take your fields, your vineyards, and your olive yards for himself. He will take the best of what you have and give it to his officers and servants. He will take a tenth of your wealth and demand service. You will cry out because of your king, but the Lord will not hear you. Go read 1 Samuel 8 for yourself. And yet, nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, "Nay, but we will have a king over us." 1 Samuel 8:19. Spoiler alert, they didn't listen. Again, they traded divine leadership for human tyranny. They welcomed earthly kings, and 42 kings, and one queen later. Jesus shows up, the rightful king of the Jews, and they nail him to a cross. The cycle of rejection continues. The final rejection. For now, Israel had rejected him. In the wilderness, they rejected him as king, when they demanded Saul. And now, with Pilate, they rejected him face to face. A mockery of their rejection. Pilate wasn't blind. He knew something was happening. His wife was having dreams, warning him to leave Jesus alone. He questioned Jesus himself, marveling at his responses. He saw the miracles, heard the rumors, and felt the weight of what was happening. And when the Jews rejected their king yet again, Pilate had enough. So he put that title above the cross, not just to label Jesus, but to mock the Jews. Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. It's almost as if God inspired Pilate to make one final statement. You rejected me again, but I'm coming back. And next time, you won't have a choice. But tragically, before Israel bows to the real king, she will first welcome a counterfeit, the false Messiah, who will deceive the world one last time. And this is why the Hebrew Bible is true. I'm not a sanitized Bible thumper. God's word isn't comfortable, and it's not cultural. It's unlike any other book on the planet. This is the uncomfortable truth that refuses to be edited for modern ears. And if for some reason you think I'm just bashing the Jews, maybe ask why I believe their scriptures more than they do. Jesus had to die. Isaiah 53, John 3:16, Acts 2:23. Israel had to reject him. Psalm 118:22, Isaiah 6:9-10, Isaiah 53:3, Zechariah 12:10, Luke 19:44, Matthew 23:37-39, John 1:11. Rome had to crucify him. Daniel 9:26, Psalm 22, John 12:32. Jesus chose it. John 10:18, Philippians 2:8, Hebrews 12:2. You don't have to like it. The world tries to deny it. The only way someone can deny it is if they choose not to look.
Hey, thanks for listening. You've just heard an episode of Wicked Darkness, Johnny's survival guide to the end times. If you want to read along or dive deeper, go to wickeddarkness.com. It's also available on Kindle and in paperback on Amazon. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs it, someone who's stressed, questioning things, or sensing that something in the world just isn't right, someone who can feel that something is off. Have them listen. Subscribe to follow the full series. It's free. People keep waiting for the wicked one to arrive. What they don't understand is this: he's already here. Before I wrap this up, if you're curious what else I spend time building outside of turning my book into a podcast using the voice of an AI bot, you can check out some of my other adventures at coolcarguy.com and freaksites.com. 6 different websites that anyone can use to tell stories about their lives, interests, experiences, and ideas, including travelersfreak.com, runnerfreak.com, housingfreak.com, weaponsfreak.com, and carsfreak.com. Check them out if you're interested. Completely different world from this book, but creative online projects I built and continue working on. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hopefully you found this series worth your time and learned something of value.